Everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome back. A little flat hour session. We have ourselves some excitement today. Here is the image that I just threw out there for today. Bulls and Bears fighting every day. Markets are testing key support. We're leaving some wicks, but we're still making lower highs and lower lows. The VIX keeps flaring up. We're making higher highs and higher lows. I do have a couple profit traps out there today. It looks like we're going after some gold coins, some fake money, and some macaroni and cheese. So anyway, fun times with AI. All right, here's where we are at for the day. 68.15. I have a profit trap at 68.25. This one could be pretty magical here in the next hour or so, just under the hour at the close. So the trades that I have running, you can see bottom fly trap. This one's down. This max risk is 190. This one was up this morning. Around 250 to 300 bucks, but we've quickly deviated from that wider trap. The zero move is another one that I was kind of looking to bank on today, which is, despite all the volatility, despite the VIX, we had a gap lower today around 0.6%, 0.8%. And I put a profit trap in to see, could we end up having the day be essentially zero, like 0 points in the day? If so, this one pays me up to $1,800. Right now it's up 445. So between that trade alone, I do have some net profit on the day. However, it just gets a little bit better if we get closer and closer to expiration. And I would say if I am, if I'm fortunate enough to see price around 68.20 to 68.30, this one's going to be paying close to $1,000 or $1,300 at the close today. That is enough to wash away the risk on a lot of trades. So I'd lose 180. I'd lose 180. I would lose a profit trap of 80, and then I'd make, let's say, 1,000. So, oops, I did the math. So I'll take 1,000 winner, and then minus my 180, 180, and 80. I'd still make 560 on the day. So it could be upwards of $1,800. So I'm trying to be somewhat conservative if we're, within 5 or 10 points of this move. So, 68.15, I'm getting $800. 68.17 to 20 to would be 33. I'm at $1,000. So this is where, this is what you came for. If you're in my morning session, this is what we traded for. You look at my boxes here. This is what it means. So basically, I put this in my Telegram. If you know, all the profit magic can happen between 3 and 4 p.m. And we are looking to see how this day shakes out. Okay. All right, real trades. What's happening? So hanging out at 68.18. Nice part is we're getting some gamma levels right in between. So that is encouraging. 68.30, 68.10, maybe inside this level. 6,800. I also have a profit trap there. So for the kind of ideal trades for me today, 6,800 if price is there near the close. 68.25 price there near the close. I also put on one here around 68.60. And we looked at a gap fill around 68.75, I believe. And then way up here at the 69.20. Oops, 69.20. So those are a couple of traps. Again, I think the minimum trap is the 6,800 pin. That one offers $920 of profit. The other ones are all up to like $1,500, $1,000 plus dollars, $1,800. So that could be pretty exciting here near the close. Okay, there you go, Peter. This is where the rubber meets the road. Larry loved it. 69.25, 67.25 for $2. Gonna let it expire. Fantastic. Also, did you do that bull put spread? So did you add to that? You did a little daily profit play plus a bull put spread. Good day for you, Larry. That's awesome, man. Excellent, excellent. Okay, and I did tell traders this morning. We had a very intense session. We were live for almost 3 hours today. I want to make sure that yes, we have intense trading sessions in the morning, but I want to make sure like we leave understanding what we're doing. So all day I've been seeing about $125, $150 in net profit on the day, and I said that's fine. Blake, who was with me in the mornings, he closed out for like $165 winner, which is great. I know he's cheering on the trade, as am I, of course, and I'm sure if you're still in the trade with me, you're cheering it on as well. But as we discussed in the session, here's what I wrote. It's okay to win the day. So I'm going to press my luck for the 3 to 355 window to see if we have a sweet spot for bigger profits. This might backfire on me entirely. So if you want the guaranteed profit, take it. Take your $100, take your $125. Be happy. Okay. And then afterwards, you can look back and be like, oh, we could have, we should have, we might have. But I've also had for every trade I've had win, I've probably had twice as many backfire because these are like lower probability trades. I'll take that back. I mean, I am planning an entire day around this. I mean, am I pretty sure that the market's going to finish between here and here by the end of the day? Yes. Now, to make this even better, is I'd like to be right in the middle of one of these boxes. Okay. So I have, that's a sweet spot there. That's a sweet spot there. That's a sweet spot there, which we are pretty close to that right now. There's a tiny little sweet spot there and then down here. So if we're even close to these levels, close to this level at the close today, that's where I get the most bang for my buck at 4 p.m. Very good. Made some scalping XSP as well. Very good. Nice. Larry, sounds like you're having a great day, man. That's awesome. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on this stuff. For engineered options, I had some updates. We had some new trades posted. Tomorrow is a new day. We still have the trades running for engineered options, which are, this is with XSP. So we'll go to this chart here. So XSP, we had a couple trades filled. I believe I have, so monthlies have been getting filled. The weeklies I think I have 3 trades filled for the weekly right now. And let me check my numbers here. So engineered options. I have a 686, 685, 691, 690, 95, and 94 all filled for this week. For the monthlies, 691, 690, 69.15, 69.10 for SPX. So I have 5 trades open right now. 3 of them are going to expire on Monday. We need price. Realistically, if price stays above 686, we'll net winners on the week. So it'd be nice to see, maybe the markets can rally into the close Friday, maybe fill this gap entirely. That'd be around 688. A little bit more of a thrust on Monday. We could actually line up with possibly, if we pull out 2 winners, that's going to be a nice net profit week. If we have 1 winner, which is my bottom trade for the most contracts, we'd still make money. So I have 50 cents at 1 contract. I have 50 cents at 2 contracts, and I have 50 cents at 4 contracts. So if this one wins, I lose 50, I lose 100, and I make 200. I still make money on the week. And that would be above the 686. So is it a guarantee? No. But if we fill this gap with some, let's say this support holds, we gap fill and maybe take out a high going into Friday, Monday, it certainly looks a lot better to get a net profitable week. Okay. We will see. Are you thinking of doing anything on MSTR? No. I've pressed my luck on MSTR last year, and I ended up taking on some shares. I had to repair it. So that's all I'm doing. I think that if you want to play anything, I've got some naked puts in Bitcoin. IBIT, I did like the 30, like 35. Let me see what those strikes are at. Go down here. So IBIT, 37, 35, 32, and 30. Let me combo this. This is a NP combo for naked puts. I collected $3.10 on those trades. It's actually 2 ratio spreads. So let me update this. This is going to be rename ratio combo. And that's for my Project Options Edge service. So 310. If I was going to take more shares, I would own another 100 shares at be like $33 and $28. So 33 and 28 divided by 2. I'd own the share. 33 and 28. And then I'd also get, it'd be 200 shares. I would collect another $200. So minus 2. And then the credit minus $1.55. So I'd actually own the shares of IBIT at $26.95. So let me check that really quickly. $26.95 on IBIT. I mean, is Bitcoin going to drop all the way down there? I would hope not. If it does, that's another 29% lower on Bitcoin. So what would that be from all-time highs? Bitcoin would be down around 64%. Could it happen? Sure. I mean, structurally, this chart looks terrible. Once we broke the 200-day moving average, we got some crosses. Here's your death cross right here. Nothing looked good on Bitcoin. And so even down, pullback, I thought we'd have a chance to maybe flat pattern this thing. I don't know. It's not showing any signs of life. So you look left, there's some critical support in here. But we've taken out, 42. So this previous resistance level, look at the Bitcoin chart itself. And I don't know if this market's trying to make a run against MSTR because it's basically a leveraged Bitcoin. And this is a way to get Michael Saylor to start to sell some Bitcoin. Their cash runway, I think, is like 21 months. But with the price declining like this, I mean, I think that they are going to be tested. I'm not saying that MSTR is going to be a good trade, bad trade. But I'd rather just trade something like, look, Bitcoin is volatile enough. I don't need to add 2 to 3 times leverage or 2 to 3 times of volatility to that. So there is a decent amount of support right around this like 60 handle, and we're close. I mean, we're at 65. So this has been a pretty ugly week for Bitcoin to continue. But meanwhile, the markets have been down too. So here we go. All right, we're at 69.20. Let's hang out and see where things settle in. So 315, how our trade's looking. I was looking BTC puts. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. McDonald's just got, yeah, right. Yeah, man. I ran a crypto fund, and I was looking for some work. McDonald's, Subway, Chipotle. No, it's not. I mean, it's not that bad. Honestly, if any crypto bros were in since the bottom in 2022, I'm sure they did okay. But if you just diamond hand it, yeah, it's pretty ugly. It's been an interesting trade. I certainly didn't think that in 2025 that Bitcoin would be the one asset that was down. I mean, it's essentially a wash on the year, but to give back like 30% of those gains at the end of the year in October was really bad. And honestly, that was because of leverage. It was because of leverage. The markets got greedy. The derivatives that came in on Bitcoin as an asset became leveraged, and all of a sudden you have yield max and covered call strategies and all these securitized assets, and it was just an easy way to short it. So so far that the shorting has been forcing people out, and I'm sure there's some dumping as well. And technically the charts look terrible. So anyway, all the above. It's not a pleasant situation, but we'll see if there's some light at the end of the tunnel coming sooner than later. Okay. Zero move, still up about $380. Where's my other one here? 6,800. So I'm sitting at like $460 profit between these two, the zero move and the 6,800. So this one and this one, I'll keep an eye on that. We're at 13 right now. 15 is good. 15 settlement's good. 20 settlement's great. 25 settlement is perfect. I mean, literally, like we opened up around, what's this opening price? We opened up at 68.26. I mean, if we somehow like land that thing at the day, I would be stoked. I do have a little tiny risk here. That would not be fun. That is right around the 67.85 handle. Let me take a quick peek. I don't really want to throw this trade in just because it could be a toss away trade, but I do have the puts to do it. So if I put it at like 85, if I go 85, 95, 75, so that's 90 cents to make 900. It's not a bad trade. Is it going to, help a ton? I mean, it can't hurt. I'll say that. So let me see. That trade only cost me 25 cents, but that's a much tougher one to land. So I wish this was only like 50 or 60 cents. Let me see something here. Maybe I can get really creative. So if I do 85, 90. So that way I'm risking about $50 to make 400. 45. Let me see if I can do 2 contracts here. See if I can get in here for 955 credit. $950 credit. Okay, so I put a little tiny trap in at the end there. That's going to cost me 55 cents. Could make up to, so I can make up the $900 on the trade. So I'm basically risking 110 to make 900, 890. That profit trap is right in the one little sliver that I have, which is right here. So now I am also covered into some profit trap zone where, I mean, again, I don't know how this is going to cash settle, but I'm probably not going to I'm not going to walk away empty handed. So that trade is 67.90 and 67, or I'm sorry, 85 and 95. So 95 on the call side. So we have a 67.95 on the call side, and then to be 60, it should be 67.75. There's about a 20 wide trap, and there's my overlap. Okay, so if you want to take that trade, I did put in a little bit of a stack, so I'll post this in the chat if you want it. This is just one little like last minute fly. This is I'm literally going to call it that. So last minute fly, SPX 25 expiration. Oh crap! This is going to be a little messy because I got to type it in the chat here. But I'm buying. Let's see, sell the 67.85 call. Buy the 67.95 call, and then sell the 67.90 put, and buy the 67.80 put for 9.45 credit. Okay. Sorry, it doesn't make it easier to read because it's all in like one chat like that, but it's 4 legs. Selling the 67.85, and then I'm buying 10 wide at 67.95. Selling the 67.90, buying the 67.80, so it's 10 wide. Now, ideally for that trade is price is going to stay between 67.85 and 67.90. That's the profit trap's going to look like this. So I have a risk and a little flat top and then profit. So if we are here, 67.90 and 67.85, that's a max profit of 8.90. Okay, and if it's beyond these levels, then I'm risking $110. Okay, so we'll see how it all settles. Seeing a lot of people asking about Bitcoin right now. I mean, it's getting beat up, man. I mean, here's what I think. It is straight down. You have to have some pretty severe courage to say, like, I'm going to buy this. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad decision, but if anything, if I'm going to start trickling some trades back into Bitcoin, it's either one, trade small and start dollar cost averaging because there is some decent support here around 60K, right? But two is if you test this level and that's small, you got to be ready for this. You got to be ready for this. Like this thing might have like one of the all-time greatest, awfulest crashes that we've seen. It's like, I mean, again, they're going to put Bitcoin in, you know, tulip mania, and they're going to call it whatever. I still think there's purpose to it, but I don't know how I can look at this chart and say like it seems like a great time to buy because I don't know if this is the bottom, and nobody does. The better trade, in my opinion, is if you take a stab here, it's small enough that literally the risk can go to zero. If this goes from 60,000 to zero, I'll take the trade. So I'll throw $1,000 at it, throw $2,000 at it, whatever you want, right? And then for a little toe in the water, and then all of a sudden we see that price stabilizes here, works its way back up, gives us a bottoming pattern. Now we're talking stacking, double bottoms, you know, get back and break these highs, and then perhaps it's a giant bottoming pattern to get back to 150. Now we're a long shot from that, obviously. So I just think that there's going to be time to keep assessing, like, is it a good time to get into Bitcoin? So if you want to test the waters, I think testing the waters with a small trade that if it goes to zero, that's your risk. Is it going to go to zero? Probably not. But I wouldn't load up here at 60K. You know, just in case this is going to be like a, 80% pullback. I have no idea. We're already down close to what, 60%? We're down 50%. Like it's not fun. And this is definitely wreaking some havoc in the markets. So, I mean, S&P is still holding up with a bit more resiliency, but we are breaking, I noted this level earlier this week. It's like we're breaking some pretty critical support here, right? So, do we head down to lower levels? Maybe. Are we gonna fall and make fresh lows today? Maybe. So even though the day is not done, it's like, well, I've got some profit traps here. I have some overlaps. Honestly, like the craziest trade, but also the best trade would be if we break fresh lows today and we come down to like 67.60. That would be amazing. I don't know if it's going to happen. That's a big dump in 35 minutes. But this is my widest trap that I had on the day. This one offers me up to $2,800 profit, and I'm 30 wide. So, I mean, I can make 28. I'm risking 190, but price has to be basically from 67.80 to 67.20, and we're not near that. So, if we test the lows of the day, okay, fine. Do we test the lows and settle? Do we test the lows and come back up? Are we still at a big like nothing burger on the day where it's a 0 point day? I mean, we'll find out in 35 minutes. Okay. In the money, Bitcoin 40 and 45 puts. Short puts, they were cash secured. Average sell 43. Oh, I know. Look, I mean, the one thing I've done on all my Bitcoin is I'm just covering calls. Bitcoin for me, when this started to roll over, so this is on IBIT, but basically when we started to get down here, when we were about here on Bitcoin, I started doing aggressive covered calls. And I'm on my third one. And this last batch that I did, I just went out to the end of the year and I pulled about a 22% premium. So my cost basis right now is probably on IBIT, probably in the 20s, but it still doesn't help that it's falling, right? Still doesn't help that it's falling. David says, "Can you show the last trade?" The last trade that I posted, it's this one right here. Let me zoom in. Let me see if you can. I'll zoom in so you can see it. So upper right hand corner, this is the trade that I took. I am selling the 67.85 call with a 10 wide spread. So I sold the 67.85, bought the 67.95, and then I sold the 67.90, bought the 67.80. So this price is pinned between 67.85 and 67.90. That's where this thing is settled. So like I said, it's risk, a little profit trap that has a plateau, and then risk. So if we're between 67.85 here and 90 here, that maxes out at about $900. We're trading at 6,800. 6,800 for me is also a trade that's going to be $920 potential profit. So like I said, I don't think I'm walking away empty-handed today, but how everything cash settles is going to be kind of the key here at the very end. So I will assess the best trade. I mean, in all, like the issue is this. I mean, the best trade for me at this point is come back to like 25. That's probably the best trade. Okay. Because if I don't have this thing at 68, and I've got some forgiveness here, but 68.20 to 68.30 is going to land me $1,000 profit trap. Now, if we're at 6,800, which is right here, like right now, this trade, if it closes right where it is, I'm going to be up about 800 and about $900 right now. Okay. I mean, that's okay. But 900, if I do land a $900 winner, then I'm probably going to walk away with like $350 to $400 today, which is better than nothing. I mean, all day I was looking at 150, 125, $100. Walking away with 300-400 is better than nothing. But anyway, we're going to see how this settles. So ideally, the best trade, in all honesty, the best trade would be get a little rally to like 68.15, get a little rally to 68.20. That would be amazing. Because if we rally up here and kind of close 0 points on the day, that's worth $1,800. That by far is my best trade of the day. Because I can wash away the other risks and I'll still walk away with probably close to $1,300 on the day. That's what I'd like to see happen. Problem is it rebounds fast. Yeah, but I'm not doing I'm not selling the whole thing there, Mike. So for example, if I have, so some of my IBITs, I have like 1,000 shares. Okay. And I've covered 900. So I'm not messing around. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm just going to let it run. It's like, no, I'm not going to let it run. I'm going to cover 900 of these and I'm going to have 100 shares running free. And that's okay. Cause I can always get back in. So obviously I don't want to stop like a rally, but I certainly don't want to like double, triple down and watch this thing go against me. So, I mean, at least at the point where this thing broke up below 100K, I lowered my cost basis by about 22%. And I mean, I essentially have like I won't really take on a lot of heat until we're down 50+%, which we are now. So I mean, there's a bit of a drawdown coming. That's fine. But is it manageable? Certainly more so than just sitting here with no action. So I'm not letting it just go uncovered, but I am taking a majority of the premium and protecting my position to try to offset some of that drawdown. So that's not a bad thing. Okay. But it's yeah, I mean it's certainly worth watching. Obviously, just like gold and silver, which are also down. So here's gold, which is all the rage and all the talk of the town. I still think gold has to rattle out the crowd and get into this 200-day moving average. So this also like this could be a very interesting window. If bonds get a bid and dollar gets a bid, gold falls. I'm still a buyer. I just think people are going to be so frustrated. Like I cannot believe gold pulled back 30%. Well, I can. I've been talking about it for 6 months. You know, so I mean, I think this is going to make gold less exciting because we just had this monster volatility. Now it's going to be a bit of a shakeout. I call this thing like the tuning fork, where you have a high, you have a low, and the market's going to kind of just wave like this, like the frequency, and then everyone's going to look to see if it can buy it. But it's like I think we just fall, or we let the moving averages catch up, and this consolidates. I think it's going to consolidate. That's all. Okay, 30 minutes to go. 6,800. I do have a pin price there. That could be good. I'd love to see a little rally into 25 or 30 like we had here. That'd be a great little rally into the close today. My least favorite close is going to be right down here at the low of the day. I don't really have a lot riding on that outside of a small overlap that might get me like $400, but I'll probably actually lose the day. That's 80. Yeah, that's going to be not great. I'll probably have a couple $100 and I'll, have $400 or $500 of risk on the day. So that's not where I want it. 6,800 is fine. 6,800 is fine. 6,790 is fine. 6,815, 6,820 are fine. So let's see what it does. Gamma wise, thickest level right now we're trading at 6,800. That is by far like the largest level right now. If that gets sticky enough, that's a good thing. Let me check something really quickly here. Maybe it's just like all sticky at 6,800 today. Okay, so I'm seeing the biggest outlier, and again, this isn't a guarantee it's going to stay there. But are we going to push down to the day and close at the day? Like that's going to piss me off a little bit. This cheap? And I hate throwing these trades in at the very end of the day. But for 60 cents, can I get this for 55 cents? All right, I got another fly in for 60 cents. You can have it if you want it. SPX 2.5 expiration. This one's a little bit simpler because it's just a put fly. And I hate to deviate the plan from this morning, but I'm just going to throw another $60 at it and see if I can get a profit trap. So I am buying the 6775 and selling the 6765. These are all puts, by the way. And then buying the 6755 put with one or 60 cents debit. That's my max risk. Okay. So again, like I said, probably not walking away empty-handed. But to throw 60 cents at it, that gives me a $900+ winner. That's a bit of I'm not saying it's a throwaway trade, but for that type of reward, it's like if I can land $800, $900, I walk away nicely profitable today. The risk I'm really trying to manage is we had 3 trades on this morning and they were really around like $180. And I obviously want those to land, but if they don't, I need to have something that helps me offset that. So 180, 180, 180. I need like a, $700, $800, $900 winner if I can get one today. So we'll see where it all settles in. I would, the reason I took that last trade is this gives me at least a fighting chance here at the, 67, 80 zone. If we're closing in there, hopefully 80 would be like the crappiest close for me today. So 6,800 would be great. 6,800, I'm totally fine with. So if we just hang out here, stick around 6,800, I'll be happy at the close. Give me within a couple points of that. Give me like spot on 68 would be fantastic. Silver, yep. So gold, look, I think gold still has a pullback. So high, low, lower, high, lower, low. This could be like a longer, like I said, tuning fork kind of shakeout here. If it breaks and goes lower, it's the same type of measure move: high to low, lower, high. Even if it chops around, just measure the bigger move: high to low, lower, high to lower, low. Once that symmetry is done, I am buying more gold. I mean, longer term, I'm going to hold gold. It's not all in gold. I think that's a crazy trade. I think that having 5 or 10% position gold, 5 or 10 position silver, I think that's a healthy allocation. I'd rather take instead of putting in fixed income, I'd much rather be in gold or silver. Despite the volatility, I'd still rather be in gold and silver. Okay, Bitcoin. This does not look great, but it's a falling knife. Maybe it's capitulation. This is going to wreak a lot of havoc on MicroStrategy is. I blame the greed of Wall Street for allowing the securitization, the mainstream followings, and it's not good enough just to have Bitcoin. It's like you got to take Bitcoin and turn it into derivatives and turn it into this Frankenstein. I guess that's the doctor, but turn it into the monster that is. Let's use debt. Let's use leverage. Bitcoin's only going to go up. It's like, dude, it's a trade. It's a market, and I think this is an intentional push to like push things down and cause some pain in the leverage instruments. This is just as I said earlier, this is a massive deleveraging coming in the Bitcoin space. And we haven't really seen like a massive deleveraging yet, outside of in software and in tech, which is starting to get the pinch in the S&P. But if we go to the heat map today, I mean, we're down on the day, but it was mostly done at futures. Futures did it at the open, right? So let's go to the heat map today. I mean, this is like blood in the streets type day. Now we have 71% of the stocks declining. Where is Google at, by the way? 330. I mean, Google is. I mean, let me check on my. This is good. I got to have a good trade running on Google. This thing might be up a couple $100. Google. I'm up 100% on Google. This trade expires. So 340 is tough. Let me take a look at this one really quickly from a. So my short is 340. My break-even price was like 303. It's like, I mean, I kind of need Google to hang in there for tomorrow. If we can hang in there for tomorrow, I feel like I've got a pretty good profit trap opportunity on Google. If it gives it all back, that's going to be a little tougher. Choices. What do we have today? I mean, I'm up. Is anybody in my news breakers with this trade? It's up 100%. It's probably not a bad one to take. We're up 100%. I think it's the smart thing is just to close it. It's too slippery. If price goes back down, I'm always going to be curious, but let me see if I can close this thing down. So let's go 90, 95 cents credit. Maybe a generous fill, 96, 95. You turd. 94. That's 100%. Filled at 94. So I'm closing out for 100%. This is Newsbreakers. Google 45-cent debit, closing for 94 credit. So that is 45. So I made 49 cents. So 49 divided by 45, 108% return on that. Closed. So exit date would be today, the 5th. Not a bad trade. I mean, close out for 109%. I'll take that on any type of earnings play. Nice. What'd you get on that? Google an hour ago. SMH roughly flat. Semis holding. Bitcoin going to zero. Yeah, maybe. Buyers and early. I mean, I think the market being down 50% is plenty. I think like, 60, 70 would be really, really crappy. Like that would feel terrible. If Bitcoin's down, 67%, it's going to feel like crap. That would be, for me to get conviction back into Bitcoin, I've got to see a pretty strong bullish pattern. I've already got some exposure. I've been selling premium, lower my cost basis. The next trade for me is it's got to be a bullish trade with a good pattern. Okay, and if that shows up, great. If it doesn't, well, that's trading. But anyway, I still think there's merit to it. All right, got a couple flies in here. Let me figure out. I'm all over the place with traps today. So 55, 65, 75, 55, 65, and 75. That one is a trap as well. So right now my 6,800 looking better. It was. What the heck, dude? Why is this only showing 180 bucks? This one should be worth way more than that. This should be worth like $900. I just feel like this is not accurate. Really? I mean, this is the final 20 minutes, man. This is worth like $900. You piece of crap. All right, 6802. So this one's looking decent. Let's find out. Let's see here. Gamma, zero move. This one's still up 135. I thought this one would be worth way more. It's up 200 bucks right now. Come on, dude. It's like we're talking 20 minutes to go. I'm spot on at 68. I just think that the bid ask is just it's really wide today. So we'll see. This one is still up a couple of bucks. I mean, part of me thinks I should just take. I mean, we have 20 minutes left. It's like there could be a little profit in this one. And so if I can land, this trap for let's say $500, $600, $700, and I can land this trap here for the zero move at 150 to 175, 185, that would probably make me feel a little bit better. But here's the trade-off. If I close this one down for 150 to $175, and this one doesn't pin, then I'm giving it all back. So I think at the end of the day, I just gotta see where this thing settles. Which I did mention, like, it's all or nothing, and I'm hoping that the all is going to be paying pretty well. 6,800 is good. 6,800 is great. Let's see how it stacks up. I mean, there's still some life in this one. If we get like a big squeeze to like 68.10 or 68.15, this trade is still very good. And then for this one, 6,800 is great. I'm just surprised it's worth. I thought this would be worth like 500 bucks by now. We're 20 minutes into the close and we're sitting right at 6,800. Like, come on, dude. That's really shitty, actually. It's not like it's 5 wide. I've had plenty of 5 wides that don't do anything until they settle, but a 10 wide should at least show a little bit more peak in that profit trap. Nice. Gloria says 35 cents in the last minute, 67.65. Okay, that's great. That's super low risk. Let's see here. All right, 98. We will see. Got some overlaps in here. So this trap, up 100 bucks. This trap up 200 bucks. Like I said, I might be able to overlap a little bit, pull out some profit. I'd say probably my weakest trade would be if we settle right around like 67.80. That's going to be only worth like a couple hundred bucks. That's going to be annoying. This one that'd be worth like maybe $300 to $400 in this trade, but that's not enough to offset the other trades. So I could take a net loss. We'll see. We still have 17 minutes. A lot can happen. I still get, I mean, my sticky gamma is still around 6,800. So hopefully this is, I mean, if we're gonna hit the low, I'm hoping that we break the lows. If we hit the lows and break the lows, that should be, if we get to 67.70, that's $1,000. So I mean, if we're gonna test the lows, don't just test them. Either test them and bounce, test them and break. Give me something. Let's see here. Silver position profit. What do you do when you think you're gonna take an L? 20K to 2K. I mean, what's your cost basis? Are you buying SLV or in silver futures? What were you trading? Were you trading calls? Or you owning shares? I mean, 20K to 2K, that's got to be options, right? I mean, like silver's down like 30, 40%, but it's not down 90%. So look, I think what the reality is we're seeing like increased volatility, right? Look at the VIX. Trading at a 20 plus VIX is going to be, it's going to wreak havoc in like every strategy. Like volatility throws every good trade, every good strategy out the window. So the only thing I really do when it comes to high premiums is high VIX, higher VIX is I try to sell some premiums. So today I did that. I sold a SPY put. I did a 500 by 470 for $495. I'd own the SPY. If I owned it, it'd be down to $440, which is like a 38% discount. I would gladly own some shares there. But I'm going to see this vol suppression. I looked back a little bit here. So, we're making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher highs. I looked back to see when's the last time we had a decent volatility event. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And we did have a volatility event that spiked us up near 30. Now, again, that was during the holidays, so that was a little like illiquid. We go back here. This is in October. Big spike single day, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So, I mean, I think this market is trying to tell us, like, look, there might be a bit more of a flush. I mean, because we're getting like the consistency here. Unless this is going to get squashed to the downside, I think we have this thing probably spike up and flare up to maybe high 20s, maybe more of a VIX event into 30 plus. So let me check one thing really quickly on my VIX because that is a synthetic long that I do have, and I still can't believe we're not in profit on this. But I mean, if the VIX spikes to like 30 plus, this should be worth a couple $1,000. So the trade was like $3 and like $350. So I'm hoping that and again, I don't want to see a VIX event. Nobody really does. It's unpleasant. It blows out, all the expected moves, all the option chains get just fudged over. And look, I've got a lot of exposure here, which is not I say that like I have exposure, but a lot of my trades that I'm in are so far out of the money that I just need price just to calm the heck down. I mean, some of the ratio spreads I've taken are like, yeah, price would have to drop 50%, 40%, 60%. So we'd have to have a nasty, sustained sell-off in a lot of these stocks that I've chosen. And I haven't chosen a lot of like software. I haven't chosen a lot of tech. I mean, I'm in some pretty safe stuff that's out of the way. So I think I'm just going to have to kind of weather this drawdown like, just like anything else. Okay. You're trading the CFD. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that was a great run. I mean, look, you timed it well. I mean, getting in there on October and having a 156% run. I mean, how high do you think it was going to go? I mean, if I look at silver, I've been warning people like that dip and pullback was great, right? This pullback and that run, that was insane. If you were not taking profit there, my gosh, like what were you needing? That's gold. I mean, silver was even more ridiculous, right? That pullback, I mean, this looks like nothing. This pullback was 16%. That run to the highs was insane. I mean, on silver, I had a measure move at 91. So anything above 91 was trail, stop yourself out with a trailing stop loss, and that one day move would have knocked you out. Right? So, I mean, now I just think that if we have here's what I'm planning on. I think we have a 25 to 30% correction in gold, and I think silver probably doubles. So we probably have closer to like a 50% pullback in silver, maybe deeper. Right now, silver is down about 40%. Could we drop another 10? Yep. Could we drop another 10, 15, 20? Sure. I mean, look at the stacked moving averages here. So if we pull back to, $60 or previous all-time highs, like technically speaking, if we poke 55 or poke 50, as a trader, that's where I'm looking. Poke this level, poke this area. That's a start. If that goes to zero, I'm wrong. But if we now establish a new all-time high, even if it is going to build here and take time and do nothing for years, if it goes back to those highs, that is a good trade. That is still a good trade. So to me, it's like I'm interested at like $55 or lower, $50 or lower, and that's what I'm doing on SLV. So my trades on SLV, it's like I want it to be $50. I might not get filled if it pops earlier, but this level and this level, I'm looking to start again. Start again. If it goes to zero, I guess I'm wrong. But if it goes back to these highs, well, that's a huge gain. So that's where I start. Goes back to highs. That's 100+%. I mean, that's exactly why I was in silver at $20, as I had it forecasted to hit about 50. So to me, it still looks like a good trade. All right, 10 minutes to go. End of day traps here. This trade's up $500. Well, it was. So I've got this trade up 200. This trade up 200. Come on, let's keep an eye on these bad boys. Is there an overlap here? I mean, I guess a little bit. If we're like, 92 or 93, that's a decent overlap. All right, keep an eye on this stuff. This one's still pinned at 68. This one's ideal at 67, 85 to 90. We're trading at 90 right now. This one could be looking better. And we got 10 minutes to go here. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think that if we hit 60 or lower, I start testing the waters. Ideally, I want a 55 or 50 entry on silver. If I get those entries, I'm in it for the long haul again. Okay. This one's up 100. This one's up 270. Anything on the bottoms? I mean, this one could grow. This would grow so fast if we just get a flush down to fresh lows today. Come on. At least give me a little bit of magic here. 85 and 90 is good. Just don't settle at 80 today. 80 sucks. If you're going to dump to 70. If you're going to hold at 85 or 90. One could ask for that, right? All right. So far, this is probably my best looking trade right now. It's up $300. This one's still up 100 and some. I mean, between the two, it's like I'd love to get at least a $500 or $600 winner. That at least help me make some money on the day. That's really all I need. It's just, can I get it? 8 minutes to go. What's funny is like for the butterfly trades, like that 8 minutes is an eternity. That's the difference between a butterfly that looks like this. So butterfly that's like, yeah, there's my butterfly at 3:52, and then here's 3:59, and here's 4 o'clock. It's so ridiculous how these final few minutes add up to like the perfect trap or not. I think you got enough for 45. Depends on my margin and stuff. Got it. Okay. All right, we're at 84. This one's still looking pretty decent. I need 85 to 90 for that profit trap. If it's at 84, that's still pretty good. That'd be up $700. And another freaking 3 o'clock trade. I need to. I don't know. It's not a strategy. It's just like it's been a trade I've been watching a little bit. It's just one of those late day trades where the market just sells off, and it typically gives you some good asymmetry. All right, 85 to 90 is good. This trap is getting a little lighter. That's a good, yeah. Trading on margin is definitely going to be tough for a lot of traders. If you are trading on margin, it's going to be tough. Anybody that's asked me, trading on margin, I squint a little bit. It's so, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? Margin works, you're loving it. Margin comes a knocking. It's not fun. So I would say, just trade with the cash you have. I mean, a margin account is great for the buying power because the brokers treat it differently, but I mean, never run out of buying power. So anyway, just my 2 cents. I had one. Yeah, this is a long. I mean, I learned my leverage game, a leverage lesson a long time ago. Over leveraging on a $25,000 account trading the dollar yen. This was back in the day when it was supposed to go to 100. It was trading around 96. So I was loading up and I was taking some pullbacks and scaling in, and it was at 96 and change. And I'm thinking it's going to go to 100. All it took was like I basically put in 7 standard lots on a 20K account, and the broker said, you can't do that. So I basically margined myself out, and they liquidated about $3,000, which doesn't seem like a lot, but $3,000 out of a 20K account, was about 15%. So 3,000 out of 20K. Yeah, I mean, 15% evaporated, gone. All it was FXCM at the time. It was a paper crumble noise. And I remember it because it was like 3 a.m. All right, this trap's looking better. Come on, baby. 68, 68, 68. It's cheered on. Everyone, use your cheerleader fingers for 6,800. So, I mean, luckily, like I said, it was a crappy lesson to learn, but it didn't take me long to realize, oh, that's what leverage does. That's what margin means. So, I haven't done it since, but could have been worse. So when I trade forex, especially forex, I mean, even for the accounts that I was running in a currency fund, I was only using like 10 to 20% of my total margin. Very, very, very small trading in forex. I told one of my buddies yesterday, I'm like, forex is essentially a long-term trader's game for like long-term success. I think it's got to be like a long-term trade with the occasional flash crash. Like that's what it is. It's like forex is like pretty boring. Couple wild things happen here and there, but for the most part, it is just like you get a flash crash. There's craziness, but it's just like wicked efficient all the time. And it's rattled, it's disrupted. But what bothered me the most is like brokers change and servers change, and it's disruptive. And you went from having 100 brokers to choose from to 3, and it's just a very different game. So that was what bothered me the most. All right, I've got $400 on this one, 458 right now, $100 on this one. Come on, we going up to 6,800. We got 4 minutes to go. This trade's looking the best right now. We're up $500. Come on, baby. Give me 6,800. Make this good. 2 points more. Let's see where I can get this one to close out. Just don't settle for garbage. Give me something decent. 97. Get a little thrust. 6,800. Nice and sticky. All right. Up 500 there. 69. All right. We're good. Not bad. 5 and change. 6 and change. A lot can happen in these last couple minutes. 3 minutes to go. I mean, this settlement would be pretty awesome. That's like a $900 settlement. So there's still some profit to kind of exploit out of this. Like I said, I've got some overlaps here, so I'll see how it all settles. But my little add-on trades are very cheap. The ones I'm looking for, this one's looking pretty good. I mean, we're right at it, dude. I just need this thing to close. Close at 6,800. This is a $900 winner. Let's go. Why is DX? I mean, risk off. If the dollar catches a bid, bonds catch a bid, dollar catches a bid. That's risk off trading. So, and also the dollar, I thought it was a fake out trade. I thought that was liquidity grab on the dollar anyway. I was skeptical of that, flush down. I think, bigger picture, secular bear market, sure, dollar weakens, but I don't think it's as nasty as everyone thinks it's going to be. I mean, look at the markets. It's been chopping around. We're just starting to maybe penetrate those lows. Gosh. 2 minutes feels like an eternity when you got maybe another. I mean, it's crazy. This is like another $400 of profit potentially in the last 2 minutes. If it hangs out exactly where it is, that's pretty spot on. So 4 p.m. right now, can't get here any faster. All right, 97. Come on. 600 bucks. 98, 97. Come on. Get back there to like 99. Let's see some 68. Settle from 68s. 68, 6,800. Five and change. Give it to me. 850. Give it to me. Damn it. I was just going to change it to 850. Ah. All right. So I'm out. That was $720 winner. Crap. Let's see where it settles. Son of a biscuit. Settled at, we're at 60. I'll tell you exactly what this thing will be worth. So right now the broker shows 6,798. So I had 920 max profit, and it's going to be $1.90 off. So 730, and I closed out for 720. Dang it. Well, it wouldn't have been much better. I was trying to sneak in that like 850 credit. So anyway, I actually made money on the day. This one, so all right, let me do the math. I'm basically gonna add up what I'm down on the day, and then I'll have that winner. So down 45, down 60, down 50. This one settles at 720. I'll add that up in a second. This one for down 95. This one down 185. And this one down 185. And then closed for 720 and a break. It was the same amount as what I just saw all day long. You freaking turds. All right, so I walked away with $100 today. Ugh. That's so frustrating. I'm showing the broker here, 6798.11. If it settled here, this would have been a way better close. This is Quote Media. That's a 67.99, but that's not your broker. So that would have been worth $920, which should have been another $200, which would have helped me net some profit. But Tasty settlement, yeah, it's a little bit different than Tasty. So I've got a 6798.18. That puts me at 920 minus $1.82. So the most I could have made on that trade cash settled would be 738. I did see for a split second it was offering like 850. I was like literally putting in the trade. Didn't matter. I got filled for 8. I think for a split second I saw over 9. I just don't know if it would have filled. Anyway, I made $100 on the day. Yep. $100, and after the fees, I probably gave 15 to $20 back in fees on that thing. So, it could have been worse. I could have let this thing slip, and it's somehow in all these. I mean, where did we settle today? 6,800. So initially, and I'll mark this up. So I took that was an add-on trade. That was an add-on trade. I mean, I told everyone this morning, like, look, I don't like that there's this little weakness window, and so. The difference is that trade that I took, I was trying to get filled for 50 cents. I ended up settling for 80 cents, and I'm glad that I did because that's the one that paid me today. So, I needed it. It helped me wash. And what's crazy is I lose, I lose, I lose, I lose, I win, and I lose, and I still make $100. So if there's one thing to be said that, look, if you trade with some high reward to risk opportunities, which this is, it could have been way worse, right? I mean, we walk away. I didn't get filled. No, my DPP didn't fill. Nope. I was so far out of the money on those 6,600s that never got filled. So that would have been a nice little bonus trade to go on top of there for, $100 or so, but it never got filled. So damn it. That's frustrating. But again, I don't walk away empty handed. It's certainly not for lack of effort. My gosh, that was a lot of trading and a lot of effort. It could be worse. I say that it's like I won the day. It's better than nothing, but still, my gosh. And for the market efficiency, was the market efficiency? Yes. So it stayed above that blue line, below that blue line. Market makers did their job. So net, I won the day. It certainly would have been a lot more exciting to grab. I mean, you have to remember, like, I just made a trade that was, 80 cents. So I made 720, cost me 80 cents. So I just made a 900% return. But I also needed that profit trap to help offset some of the other traps that I put on. Now, the lesson for me is this. I let it ride all day. Okay. And so, this was posted at 1:24 p.m. I'm seeing about $125 to $150 net profit on the day. Right? Now, where could my trade for the day been a little bit more lucrative? Well, my best trade on the day would have been right here at basically a 0-point move for the day. That would have been worth about $1,800. Or if we broke some fresh lows, this was up to $2,800. So as far as big profit opportunities, this is why I let the trades ride. This is why I gave myself a chance. I mean, I made $100. I had to trade for it, but this was worth $1,800. So here's what I will say: like, winning one trade and losing 4 or 5, and still walking away with profit. If I'm not saying I want to do this every day, it's a lot to manage. It's a lot to put on every single day. But if I get one of these to land, and I land it in like a slightly bigger window, like, I mean, if this one paid $1,000, we're sitting here having this conversation. I'm up $300, $400 on the day. Like, that feels a little bit better for the effort that I put into it. So yeah, it's fine. It's done. So the day is done. I got to wrap things up. I got to jump into a one-on-one session. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining in. We won the day. It was a lot of work to do it, but we'll come back and do it again tomorrow. Okay. But it was a terrible fill this morning. We looked at the reverse iron condor this morning, and the prices were awful. And I would have had to give myself about a 40-point dead zone, and I don't think that would have been enough. I think we would end up in the profit trap or the dead zone trap. This market only moved about 28 points. So I don't know if that would have been enough at the open this morning. I needed I guess it was like, I'm trying to think where the sell puts were, the sell calls were. I think it was like a 60. I don't know. I'd have to go back and see the morning session, but it would have been close. I don't know if that would have been a great trade. We had to have, that would have been taking $400 risk for $100. I mean, the market moved, but only 28 points. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll take the win. I'm going to jump to one-on-one session. Come back and join me tomorrow. You're all welcome. This is a free session, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, daily profit plan. I'm live every single day. If you want to join me on YouTube, it's youtube.com/financial wars for this stream. Or if you're in my Telegram channel, I'll post the link right here. And you can join me through my Telegram and Zoom, and you can have the chat with us. So here is my Chris Pulver Telegram, and I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So, all right.